Well, so much uncertainty in the markets that we can't keep calm, even in the studios off air. And who better than that one sane advice and mind that you want to hear at this juncture? Raamdeo Agrawal from Motilal Oswal, right here in the ET Now and ET Now Swadesh studios with us to talk about exactly what to do in this market. Raamdeo ji, thank you so much for your time. That one question on everyone's mind, kya kare, kaise kare? In this market, where do you start? How do you deal with what you see on the screen every day and what you hear from Trump every day?
Yeah. So, good, I'm not speculating. So, that takes away 99% of the action, you know.
True.
So, I can't, don't take any advice from me about speculation. Because a lot of people are speculating. So, yeah. I'm completely irrelevant to what I'm saying. But I think fun part is I'm doing nothing, in the sense that whatever little money I got from dividend, that also got invested last week. So after that, you have to just, unfortunately, when you're fully invested, these are the times when you feel, you know, from where to get extra resources, because now you can see values on the chart, on the table, where things are at reasonable prices. Day by day, things are, you know, stocks are looking very reasonable. But then I'm fully invested, so I have nothing to do right now.
So Raamdeo ji, you know, couple of things. It's not like we've not seen oil prices at 100. It's not like we've not seen geopolitical tensions before this time. It's not like we've not seen these kind of prices and valuations also on the screen before. What is so different between what's happening right now in the world with West Asia conflict?
Uncertainty and unpredictability of the situation, you know, whether it is going to be resolved, not resolved, when it will be resolved. Like say COVID happened, COVID hit you on day one, say like March 20 or something, it hit you. After that, the world was struggling to just get over that one single problem to best of the capabilities.
Stay alive.
Stay alive, run yourself, but every day there was some moment, but problem was only one, it was not fluctuating. That, you know, COVID has, some solution has to be found, some vaccine has to be found. And next 3-4 months, you started hearing some vaccine. So after that, after one spike down, or whatever had to happen, 30-35% market went down. Then after that, actually in 3 months' time, the recovery started, and then it just kept on recovering for next 5 years. You know, and you hit from 12,000, it came to 8,000, 8,000 went to, I think, 25, 26,000, whatever. So it is very different kind of problem. This problem is very different. Every day you don't know whether, someday you feel problem is resolved. Someday you feel, again, problem is very serious. How long the problem will go on, and unpredictability. And second is that the Iran itself is very small pie in the whole global game. But the threat of Gulf of Hormuz being open or closed, that has a huge impact on energy prices. And once energy prices is impacted, it impacts the entire cost of production all over the world. Because if your oil and gas is up, coal will be up, electricity will be up, everything will be up. So it becomes very inflationary, and then you have the monetary action on because of that. So it has a chain effect, and as it gets prolonged, the impact will be even more felt. Like packaging materials, then raw materials, your logistic cost, your insurance cost. So everything gets cascading effect. So the market is every day, I mean, the day on which you hear that things are getting resolved, market bounces back 2-3%. And the moment you hear that market is not, this thing is not resolved, again it is down by 3%. So, and on the whole it is going down only. So I think this is a very different kind of problem than what we saw in COVID. But every problem brings its own characteristic.
रामदेव जी, अगर आप देखिए पिछले 5 साल में जो नए निवेशक आए हैं, 10 करोड़ के आसपास आए हैं, 10-11 करोड़ के आसपास आए हैं, उन लोगों ने ऐसा स्टीप करेक्शन या पेनफुल करेक्शन नहीं देखा है. उनको अब क्या सुझाव देंगे?
भाई देखो, ऐसा भी होता है. You know, this is a lesson. I mean, you have to learn. Because देखो ये जो ये पाठशाला का सबसे डिफिकल्ट लेसन है. जो अभी सीख जाएंगे और जो सर्वाइव करेंगे वही जीतेंगे आगे. क्योंकि ये मोमेंट भी रहना बहुत जरूरी है. क्यों ये जो प्रोमोटर्स पैसे क्यों बनाते हैं? बिकॉज प्रोमोटर्स कैन नॉट सेल. यू कैन सेल. इफ यू हैव 100 shares of any company, you can go and sell and decide to sit away from the market. But promoter who owns say 50-60% of the company, he has no choice but to sit there. And that's why when recovery happens, he's the guy who makes all the way to the top. So if you want to see, now let me give you some positive spin to what could happen. See, I have seen in the last 40 years index going from 100 to 80,000 or whatever it is, 800 times. Now, in between, there are major collapses, like whether it is, I saw first in 92, you imagine from 45,000 to, 4,500 to as low as 2,000 in just 1 month. It was a collapse like you just, and then that digital system was not there, it was complete chaos, market would not open and things like that. So those kind of collapses we have seen. Then we saw Y2K, then we saw GFC in 2008. Then we saw a little more sophisticated COVID one. So, and then everything was digital. So it was much more smoother, T+1 settlement, your margin systems are far more sophisticated. Economy itself from 250 billion, now it is a $4 trillion economy. So your Forex reserve from $5-6 billion, you have $700 billion. So the resilience is a lot more. The world is not coming to an end. Yes, there is a stress. There is a sustained stress on the global economy. But I think it is much lesser than what we saw in COVID time. In COVID time, we saw a correction of 33%, 12,000 going to 8,000. I would think that correction should be lower. I mean, we have already done 15-17%, maybe some more.
आप ही बता रहे थे कि 1 year का देखेंगे तो सिर्फ 5% ही तो गिरा है.
हाँ.
पर उसमें भी इतना दर्द हो रहा है.
Portfolio losses are much deeper. My own portfolio is down 70-80%. So I'm sure, and mine is not a kind of small cap portfolio. So retail portfolios would be a lot. Mine is diversified into private equity, direct stock, mutual fund, bulk of them mutual fund. So it's very diversified. So mine will be very close to the market in the sense that 1 or 2% more than market, but that's about it. But other portfolios who are very 1 or 2 stocks will be very large, or it might be small cap, mid cap. So their correction could be 30-40%.
अब हमने जब कोविड देखा था तो उसके बाद जो नया नैरेटिव निकला था वो चाइना +1 का या चाइना +2 का निकला था. इसके बाद क्या नैरेटिव निकल सकता है?
अरे निकलेगा, वो देखेगा ना, सब आएगा, आप लोग लेके आओगे सब नैरेटिव और क्या.
नहीं, पर इन्वेस्टमेंट नैरेटिव क्या होगा उसके लिए? कौन सी कंपनीज होंगी जो यहाँ से उभर के आएंगी? क्या पता, मतलब
इफ एवरीथिंग गोज वेल, मे बी रिकंस्ट्रक्शन इटसेल्फ, ग्लोबल रिकंस्ट्रक्शन, इतना सब तोड़ फोड़ कर डाले आप, तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स आएंगे आपका. जैसे बोल रहे हैं कि जो पूरा रीजन में जो आपका व्हाट इज दैट डेटा सेंटर्स, एआई का जितना था वो सब, नोबडी वांट्स टू हैव डेटा सेंटर आउट देयर. सो ऑल द डेटा सेंटर्स आर दे आर लुकिंग फॉर स्पेस हियर इन इंडिया. सो देयर कुड बी डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ माइग्रेशन हियर. द गाइज हु आर बाइंग रियल एस्टेट इन दुबई, 1 लाख करोड़ का बोलते हैं खरीदते थे, वो सबको सब यहाँ खरीदेंगे. एटलीस्ट दे विल नॉट बाय देयर. सो ऑल द परचेज, सो लॉट ऑफ पॉजिटिव्स कैन हैपन, बट अभी तो भाई ये निगेटिव तो संभालो, अभी कहाँ खत्म होता है ये. Let's handle the current problem, let's survive this and then we'll move on.
But valuation, like you said, is looking attractive now, would you
much
say?
More attractive.
Much more attractive.
Index itself is below 20p, na?
Yeah.
So index is below 20p and our researchers have still not cut the earnings very significantly for next year. So if you say 10% this thing, earnings growth for next year, I mean normal time
10% हो जाएगा.
अभी तक कट नहीं किया है किसी ने, मेरा कोई कट नहीं है, बिकॉज यू रियली कांट फैथम. एंड इफ एवरीथिंग गेट्स सॉर्टेड आउट इन नेक्स्ट 7-8 days, then the impact will be much lesser. So even if it is by chance at 10%, let's keep it 10%.
Worst case.
Then you're looking at 18p 1 year forward. So ऐसा it is still nobody is talking about collapse in the earnings. There is no evaporation of earnings. Maybe current year's earnings itself might continue. Maybe earnings, that 10% growth might become 5-6%. But still you're talking about growth.
सर आज के डेट में 18p को भी हम एक्सपेंसिव बोलते हैं कंपेयर टू अदर कंट्रीज. और जो हम फॉरेन फ्लोज की बात कर रहे हैं, फॉरेनर्स जो हर रोज ऑलमोस्ट $1 बिलियन बेच रहे हैं, वो कारण बोलते हैं कि ये हाई वैल्यूएशन मार्केट है, यहाँ बेच के लो वैल्यूएशन मार्केट में पोजीशंस ले रहे हैं. तो 18p अगर हम भी आता है तो क्या वो एक्सपेंसिव नहीं रहेगा, या ग्रोथ जो होगा वो इस तरह से होगा कि वो फोर्स करेगा फॉरेनर्स को वापस आने?
मेरे ख्याल से अभी एक नया डायमेंशन आ गया, दैट इज अ रूपी डिवैल्यूएशन. उनको पूरे इट हिट्स देम अक्रॉस द बोर्ड. आप बैठे हो चुपचाप से शांति से, एक तो भाव भी नीचे गिर रहा है, वो छोड़ दो एक बार. लेकिन आई एम सिटिंग देयर एंड 10% माई पोर्टफोलियो इज डाउन एंड देन आई हैव टू पे द टैक्स on rupee gains.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, not on the dollar gains. On rupee gains, I bought at 100.
Taxation is a big
Taxation is a big issue in capital gains. So I think they're not in a great mood right now. But ठीक है, मतलब valuations are corrected. You have to look at the parity. Other markets are also going down. So ऐसा नहीं कि you are not, others are not going down, you are only going down. So parity is becoming better. But we have fallen a lot more in last 12 months compared to other markets are actually up. So I think the parity, at some point of time, parity will come.
But Raamdeo ji, this is a moment where you need to rethink your portfolio. Forget the diversification bit, but pure equities also you need to build oil resilience, inflation resilience, and currency resilience in your portfolio. So if I have to rework a portfolio at this juncture, what should I be looking at? What should be my allocation?
You know, one of the things is that in bad time, how will you, I mean, your flexibility to, unless you have something which is completely disastrous, you know, then of course you have to cut your loss and move on and buy whatever you like. But at least I am not able to get a very clear thinking कि भाई क्या करने का मतलब है कि मैं ये बेच दूँ क्या मेरे पास मान लो एक तो पहली बात जो है मेरे पास 60% is my what you call say 80% is my mutual fund, you can say. Private equity plus mutual fund. So that manager, it is a headache of that manager. Okay, so I am not worried about that. And what little I have in direct stocks, they're all 3-4 compounders. So we'll just sit through, you know, financials and all. So ऐसा मुझे इतना तो एक्शन करने का मन नहीं करता है कि but if by chance you see something which you want to buy and that is a about 20% cheaper, then maybe you can switch also. So from the current portfolio, you find some money, say I redeem my mutual fund and go and buy whatever I like. You know, if I'm really in love with that company and the company has fallen from say 50p to it has come to 10p or 12p or 15p. Now those kind of valuations are emerging. You know, so
but that's exactly what I'm saying. If someone has to buy a fresh and if someone has some powder dry, क्या लेना चाहिए अभी?
Stocks लेना चाहिए और क्या लेना चाहिए?
No. What
is stocks? Yeah, like I like financials. Financials are, see, services are not that much impacted. The impact is, direct impact is on the physicals. कि आप यदि मान लो FMCG हो तो आपका पैकेजिंग कॉस्ट बढ़ गया, आपका लॉजिस्टिक कॉस्ट बढ़ गया. लेकिन यदि आप सर्विसेज में हो तो थोड़ा इम्पैक्ट इज लेस. उसमें भी इम्पैक्ट तो है ही घुमा फिरा के, लेकिन कम इम्पैक्ट है. एंड सो यू आर नॉट डिसरप्टेड दैट मच. सो आई वुड द अर्निंग्स ऑफ से banks will be impacted if the borrowers' economics are hurt so much that the delinquencies start happening. So, or the bond yield goes up, so banks, you know, mark to market for the 31st March. That will go down. But I think they seem to be temporary to me. I mean, I don't think this war is going to last for years and years.
It won't be a Russia-Ukraine.
So, it's not that kind of a war. So if by chance if it is a month or 2 months or 3 months, and because of this quarterly pressure on banks and all, if you are able to get, otherwise before the war, in my 40 years history, I have not seen a bank with the lowest possible gross NPA and lowest possible net NPA. Delinquencies were literally zero. So banks are in terrific shape. Now this stress has come, but more than the stress, the valuations have corrected. You know, and they are available, and maybe FIs are selling. FIs have a lot of banks shares, particularly in private sector. They own 40-50% of the bank itself. So they are just dumping this thing. So that is pushing down the stock prices. So this is a great time. I mean, banks are growing at anywhere between 50. If the credit growth itself is 14-15%, you're talking about banking profit growth of anywhere between 15 to 25%. And the banks are available at less than 20p, maybe 15p. SBI and all are available 10-12p. So I think that's where you can hide. I mean, those kind of things you can buy.
सबसे ज़्यादा impact तो HDFC बैंक में ही आया है पिछले कुछ.
In terms of price. Yeah. But see, price is one, but value is not changed. The underlying earnings model of HDFC Bank or anything is, I don't think that is changed, except for the credit loss. If there is a sustained stress in the economy, there will be some. I mean, the lower down small businesses, they will find it difficult to repay, at least on time. So there could be some slippages because of that. But bigger thing could be from the bond losses. mark to market bond losses because of the
yield जो 7% भाग जा रहा है.
spike होगा.
So
But
PSU banks a safer bet right now?
देख लो आप मतलब whatever you like, you know, because there is value all over, private, public, everywhere.
एक अक्सर सवाल जो पूछा जाता है वो रिटेल इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए कि मैंने अच्छा स्टॉक खरीदा है पर खरीदा हाई प्राइस पे है और वहां से 20% गिर गया और अगर मेरे को बाकी स्टॉक अच्छे वैल्यू स्टॉक्स दिखते हैं वो भी 20% गिरा है तो क्या मैं इसको बेच के वो खरीदूं या मैं उसमें दोनों कोशिश करूं उसको भी लेने की?
नहीं, इसी देखिए आपने जो भी स्टॉक खरीदा महंगे में खरीदा, बाजार करेक्ट हो गया, स्टॉक भी करेक्ट हो गया. नाउ यू हैव टू रीअप्रेस नाउ एट द करंट प्राइस. Since you have bought it, say 6 months before or 1 year before, you know about the company a lot more, you know, and you had a conviction at that time for buying. And now the price is 20% cheaper, so the conviction should be actually double. So why should you get out of this and go into something which you don't know? Unless you are getting something which you are aspiring to buy forever and you never got it, and now market is throwing the opportunity to buy, so then definitely you can switch. So it's all about, you know, every time weighing whether you are getting something at this price or that price.
Raamdeo, one sector that you've always liked, autos, and I remember talking to you about 5 odd months back when GST 2.0 etc. happened. You were so bullish. Even if I look at last month's auto numbers, other than exports, the numbers are fabulous. EV as a segment has also grown so much. Do you think right now, after the recent spate of correction, autos is one space which will not have too much damage, or do they also run a risk because of oil prices?
Oil price, at least on the consumer side, they have not allowed. They have not.
It's not
so far they have not raised.
Yeah.
But I think after election, I think some stress will come. वो पक्का होगा.
और supply chain में कुछ तो impact आएगा.
So, but I think GST cut is too deep. That 28 to 18, and you can see, I mean, Mahindra, Tata. Most of them are 25 to 30% volume growth.
Fabulous number.
It's stunning number. It is because of the lower base of last year. Okay, now this growth has started from September, October. I think September. So till September you have no problem of growth. Then after that, on this high base, then one has to see whether actually growth is how long the growth continues. So I think we are in a growth mode in autos, and the stocks are also corrected. And you see bumper numbers coming for this quarter also. So that's one of the another place where you can find some, you know, good nuggets. Yeah, that's the one place where you can see that. Even in the capital market, where all kinds of restrictions came in last 1 year. I think it started from November 24. November 24. So
till
the
last
full
budget.
stress still, and then something was happening till March, and something was to come from 1st April also, which they deferred.
Deferred by 3 months.
3 months. So I think we are still passing through the stressful phase, but the underlying growth is, the momentum is there. Still the 2.5, 3 million new customers are coming in every month. So market expansion is on with the kind of regulatory, oversight and things like that. So I would think that market is, there is a good correction in the stock prices, and they're asset light, not dependent on petrol, diesel or anything like that. Energy is not that much of a, so I think you have to find those kind of ideas where what you can buy, because India is in the growth mode. I don't think India, even the estimates which are coming up, more pessimistic estimates, they are talking about maybe 1%, from 7.5-8% projection, it might come down to 6.5-7%, that kind of thing. So I don't think there is that kind of danger. But the stock corrections are 20%, 30%, maybe even 50% also at times.
ये oil price hike का जो inflationary impact होगा, वो balance sheets के P&L के through तो pass होगा ही होगा.
पक्का होगा.
तो उससे margins में impact भी होंगे सारे companies के. अगर companies absorb कर रही हैं, अगर pass on करती है तो दूसरी बात है. But absorb कर रही है तो impact होगा. उसका क्या impact, overall क्या impact?
This is where good franchise, bad franchise will come. Good franchise मतलब क्या होगा कि आप cost belongs to the customer. मैंने 25 रुपए की चीज मैंने 30 में खरीदी तो मैंने 5 रुपए आपको pass on कर दूंगा, because my business is that strong. Okay, but bad business is what, भाई तुमको बेचना तो उसी भाव में पड़ेगा, पूरा का पूरा जो 25 से 30 रुपए होगा रॉ मटेरियल में पूरा एब्जॉर्ब करना पड़ेगा. That is the two extremes of the businesses. You know, so अच्छे normal time में मालूम नहीं पड़ता है, but now it will be visible who has a good franchise, who has the bad franchise, whose margin is intact on a higher raw material cost or whatever you have, can be passed on, you know. So like all these Nestle's of the world, Hindustan Levers, they will be able to pass on. They will be able to more or less manage the margin. But their suppliers, the other side, I think they will have tough time.
आपको लगता है कि ये Q4 का जो तिमाही का जो अर्निंग्स है वो डिसाइड करेगा कि भाई मेन कौन है, बॉयज कौन है, इसमें कौन पास ऑन कर सकता है, किसके पास वो
क्वार्टर में उतना नहीं मालूम पड़ेगा. आई थिंक नेक्स्ट क्वार्टर विल बी द वन. अभी तो क्या इन्वेंट्री सब फीफो मेथड में सब लो कॉस्ट इन्वेंट्री 25-30 दिन का होता ही होता है. सो दैट वुड
एक महीना तो हुआ है बस. एक
महीना लास्ट वीक और में अंतर पड़ा होगा. बट आई वुड थिंक दैट फुल इम्पैक्ट विल बी स्टार्टिंग इन द Q1 में, जून क्वार्टर में फुल आएगा. मतलब कुछ भी हो जाए वार में, लेकिन impact will be visible in P&L in June quarter, because my friends are saying that they have raised the prices by 25, 30%, 40%. So underlying raw material plastic prices, that's still gone by 25, 30%. So clearly there will be impact on the thing that now one has to see who can pass, who cannot pass, and how much is the impact on the volume also. The moment you raise the consumer prices, because consumer का salary तो नहीं बढ़ रहा ना overnight, so there is no salary reversion in Q1. So clearly there will be impact on what you call volumes, and one has to see how. See, this is where the uncertainty comes, that you don't know when it is going to end. You know, how prolonged it gets, how worse it becomes. Will it further intensify, or we have seen the worst of it, and only there is a dialogue. At least there is some negotiation on. You know. Earlier there was channels were closed, that there's no negotiation, and but now at least there is some dialogue. Okay, demands are, both sides are like two sides of a river right now, but diplomacy will work.
The other big transition in the world other than geopolitics is also AI. How do you understand the AI stack and the India opportunity as an investor?
See, everybody is reading what one is reading, but you know, at enterprise level, the usage of AI will be, the diffusion of AI will take time for it to have meaningful impact in the cost structure. Like today, headlines you must have seen, Oracle has laid off about 10,000 people in India itself.
Yeah.
I think it is out of 40,000 people worldwide they did. So clearly now, at least in software technologies and all, the guys are making decisive moves of cutting the headcounts to achieve the same amount of work or even more. So clearly that much, say if out of 40,000 you have, out of say 1 lakh if you have put 30,000 out, it means they have a productivity gain of 25-30%. You know, so now, I mean, this is the first thing I'm seeing today morning. It's a little shocking, the number of people. I think it must be one of the biggest layoff in India.
Yeah,
one of
so
them.
far. Huh?
Yes.
One of the bigger ones. Is it bigger than? Is there anybody else who's done bigger than this?
Past में हुआ है, but recent months, recent years में तो ये बड़ा है. Foreign companies का.
Yeah. So, and they are already in any case tight. I mean, they don't recruit. They are very careful about number of people they are recruiting, and of that 10,000 people you let go. So that's and it's a growing company. See, they are growing 25-30%. So it's not a stagnant company losing out and all. They are winners, and in that it is happening means it's a very big message. That two messages. One, that tech companies will reorganize themselves, and a lot of headcounts will get redeployed, so to say. I mean, from one company to other, or within one company, they might find some other business. So clearly, there is a heads are going to roll in. So the headcount-driven Indian tech model, that is not going to see many more recruitments. That look after this, it is absolutely sure that the headcount growth is almost like not possible. Second, the benefits on the AI users will be quite deep. So I think the benefits are real, and which are the companies which are going to benefit in BFSI or wherever software is being used as an application. I think there it can give a lot of productivity gains. It can hammer costs. It can, if you're a lender, it can help you find better borrowers. if you're in insurance, you can improve your underwriting. So all kinds of usage in healthcare, so like stunning.
एक मैक्वारी की रिपोर्ट निकली थी अभी रिसेंटली जिसमें कहा कि $400 बिलियन का इन्वेस्टमेंट एआई में इंडिया में होगा.
400 बिलियन का.
$400 बिलियन का लेटेस्ट रिपोर्ट जो आई है उसमें अक्रॉस द इकोसिस्टम, एआई इकोसिस्टम इंडिया में, एंड इंडिया विल बी द थर्ड इकोनॉमी जहां पर ये होगा. एंड उसको भी इफ यू कंसिडर what India has been told that they are laggards in AI, despite that $400 बिलियन का जो इन्वेस्टमेंट है, जो आपने कहा कि डेटा सेंटर वहाँ से इधर आएगा, तो आपको लगता है कि दिस इज वन ऑफ द थीम्स दैट विल इमर्ज फ्रॉम दिस एंटायर एपिसोड ऑफ वेस्ट एशिया क्राइसिस, कि इन्वेस्टमेंट इनटू एआई इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इकोसिस्टम अगला थीम रहेगा? नहीं,
वो तो दैट एआई, इसके पहले से एआई की बात चल रही थी पूरी, दूसरा कुछ बात ही नहीं होता था. ये बीच में कहाँ से आ गया, तो डिस्टर्ब कर दिया आप लोग का. अदरवाइज एआई वाज ऑल ओवर, यू नो. सो यस, जो बिकॉज मेरे को लगता है कि एआई में जो लॉन्ग टर्म इम्पैक्ट जो है वो बहुत डीप होगा, बहुत डीप होगा. शॉर्ट टर्म में वी आर प्रॉब्ली ओवर एस्टिमेटिंग. शॉर्ट टर्म में इम्पैक्ट भी उतना कम होगा. लॉन्ग टर्म में विल बी फार डीपर, फार मोर वेराइड. मतलब हम कंसीव नहीं कर सकते वो इम्पैक्ट आएगा. बिकॉज अभी आप सोचिए ओपन एआई वगैरह में जो $25-50 बिलियन में तो इतना कुछ निकल रहा है. व्हेन यू पुट ट्रिलियंस, then what will come out? More sophisticated models, much more advanced models. Every 2-3 months something else is coming. So I think it's an evolving scenario. I mean, and I'm not competent to even say what is going to happen. We keep hearing all the visionaries. Asha, you are interviewing Vishal Sikka. He spoke very well.
Yeah.
You know, he was much more balanced and futuristic.
I mean, 10 years back he spoke about AI when he was at Infosys.
Yeah, so these are the kind of guys, Jensen from NVIDIA.
Jensen
so those are few guys whom you can listen to and learn and envision what could happen.
पोर्टफोलियो बैलेंसिंग में बाकी एसेट्स को आप कैसे देखते हैं? गोल्ड, एक अर्लियर दिस ईयर गोल्ड छाया हुआ था, अभी गोल्ड में करेक्शन हो गया. तो अगर गोल्ड होगा, बॉन्ड्स होंगे, तो इन दोनों में से कौन से एसेट्स?
Gold has never been part of my thinking process and things like that. So I never touched anything in gold. So I miss that way. I miss the opportunity of a lot of people who bought into gold and all, metals and all. So I've never participated. So, and I never read anything much about gold except the fact that they are non-productive assets. You know, so they can grow in terms of price, but because of inflation hedge or whatever, or shortage of this stuff, but they don't grow themselves. You know, companies or real estate or bonds, they yield you something, 4-5%, 7%, 10%. Companies can yield you 100% also. So, to that extent, it doesn't give me that excitement. Because our job is to, as an analyst, what? To find companies which are likely to grow, which are likely to yield. Today it might be yielding 10%. On my purchase price after 10 years, the company should yield me 100%. That's my, so that I keep sitting on till it becomes 100% yield on my purchase price.
And bonds में, sir?
Bonds so ठीक है, मतलब I mean, to some amount of, I mean, at the age of 80-85, you need what you call yield to run your houses and things like that. So for that, because in equities, a dividend yield is just about a percentage, and most of the companies are even less than 1%. So clearly, you have to go for bond if you want daily, if you want to fund your daily expenditure out of your savings. At the, I mean, after accumulation phase over, after 60-65, when you retire, then you have to go for the bonds. And everybody doesn't have 100% equity appetite like me. It's not a, maybe not even is a healthy way to do it. Just that I started from zero and I have a company which is running. So I have income which is assured. My portfolio is not doing well, but my company is doing well. Yeah. So that extent, I have a fixed income coming from my company. So I'm hedged. Everybody is not that lucky.
Well, where do you see the next profit pool getting created? The next profit pool getting created? Which sector do you think where you think profits will be protected largely?
No, everywhere. I don't see profit pool. Current suspension is not going to change. I mean, just because the Iran war is there, nothing is going to change. things are going to fall in place. I don't think anybody, but say when a technological changes happen, say like, see there will be, say like financials. Financials, lenders, the profit today might be say 3-4 lakh crores or maybe even more. I mean, SBI itself is about 1 lakh crore. So we're talking about 4-5 lakh crores of profit from banks only. So that profit pool will keep growing at about 10-15%. But within that, say digital lending. See today digital lending is very small, maybe not even 1 lakh crore book. But at some point of time, digital lending will become very large. So that 5 lakh crore become say 10 lakh crores. But digital lending from 100 crores, it might go to 1 lakh crore. You get it? So, so something like that. And see, it's a growing economy. So a lot of, say, if you see today's Maruti statement, what they're saying, there were robust inflow from two-wheeler guys to four-wheeler guys because entry-level cars have become cheaper. So now suddenly you are producing 5 million cars. In 15 years' time, you should be doing more like 20 million cars. Now, so the car making companies now, who will make money, that is now a little later. But a profit pool of car industry will explode. You know, so like that you have to. It's not that things are going to happen from zero. We don't have pure AI companies right now. So I can say that right now AI in listed space, AI companies' profit is zero. But it is not going to remain zero 10 years out. So new profit pools will emerge there.
Interesting. Raamdeo ji thinks 10 years ahead. The India that will be.
Yeah, that will be. It will be. I mean, that's how I've seen the evolution of this country, is step by step, day by day, It's a very compounded, predictable country with some roadblocks,
volatilities,
some potholes on. I mean, we wrote this in this wealth creation study that we are going to do from 4 to 16 in next 17 years. And here we have written and आपका ये पहला pothole आ गया. So
but we are used to this potholes, sir.
Yeah, it will be.
Get
and
to our
many
destination.
Many more will come. Names will be different, but it will be there. It is never a straight line. If it is a straight line, that 17-year journey will be done in 10 years. लेकिन हो नहीं सकता है sir.
Okay, on that note, here's to conquering the potholes and the volatility with all the strength and might. And the big takeaway is that India is in a lot more resilient place and a lot more healthy space to now take these and absorb these global shocks, right?
Yes, very much. Yeah.
Okay, on that note, thank you so much for your time today.
Happy investing.
Thank you.
Thank you.